Welcome to Discover Barnstable, the official podcast of the Town of Barnstable, a podcast where you can meet the people who steward the programs and services for the Town of Barnstable that connects us to our quality of life. We invite you to join the conversation as we navigate municipal government and our community pathways to help you discover Barnstable. I'm Lynn Poyant, and on this episode of Discover Barnstable, we are joined by Cyndy Cotton. Cyndy has served as the Executive Director of the Osterville Village Library for 6 years. A certified fundraiser executive, she has strong knowledge in the nonprofit sector. Adding to her credentials, she recently completed a certificate course from Cornell, focusing on financial success for nonprofits. Her dedication to service and community has earned her recognition as she is a recipient of the Paul Harris Fellow Award from Rotary International, the Community Leader Award from the Southeastern Massachusetts Red Cross, and a citation from the Massachusetts State Legislature, and the 2021 Changemaker Award from the Institute of Nonprofit Practice, recognizing her contributions to the library during the pandemic. In the realm of philanthropy, Cyndy actively promotes and supports her region's charitable endeavors. She holds the position of co-chair for Philanthropy Day on Cape Cod this November 15th, and is a board member of the Philanthropy Partners of Cape Cod. A proud native of Cape Cod, Cyndy resides in Osterville. Merging her love of business with her personal interests, she has developed a specialized product for dog owners. Welcome, Cyndy. We're glad that you're here.
Thank you. So nice to be here.
So you are one of 7 libraries. Well, not you physically, but you are responsible for one of 7 village libraries that we have in the town of Barnstable. But they're not part of the town.
Correct.
Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, all the 7 libraries in the town of Barnstable are private nonprofits. We're fortunate to get a grant from the town of Barnstable, but we are not totally funded or managed through the town. We're all independent, and that's why you see so many different programs and offerings.
And a lot of fundraising opportunities.
Yes. I know in my case, I have to raise $700,000 a year. I know all the libraries have a fair amount of their budget that they do need to raise each year in order to be operational.
So let's name the libraries. We've got in Barnstable Village, it's Sturgis. And then we have the Centerville Public Library. We have the Cotuit Public Library. We have the Hyannis Public Library. We have the Marston's Mills Public Library. We have the Osterville Village Library. We have in West Barnstable, we have Weldon Memorial Library.
Very good.
Which is actually on Lombard Trust property. All right. I just wanted to let everybody know what the name of their libraries were.
And there's a confusion. Sometimes people think they have memberships. I'll have people come in and say, oh, I'm a member here. And it's like, if you have the clams card on Cape Cod, you can go anywhere. There really isn't membership, but you have your home library and you are allowed to venture out. We always tell people that the Barnstable libraries offer so much that you should go and visit them all.
And yeah, it's the Clams library system, which is the Cape libraries. So any library on the Cape that is a member of Clams, you can borrow books from.
Yes, and return them anywhere also. Sandwich is the only library that's not part of it. So if you got a book in Osterville and you happen to be in Eastham, you could return it there.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's terrific.
It doesn't have to go back to where you came from.
Because there's interlibrary loans. Very good. So our libraries all have unique qualities to them because they are village libraries and they're really community centers in each of the libraries. Can you tell us a little bit about what the different libraries offer?
Sure. Sturgis Library that you mentioned over in Barnstable has an amazing archival collection. So anybody who's interested in history of the Cape, deeds, the captains, a lot of our history, they have it all archived there, and it's really an amazing offering that they have.
They actually also have the Barnstable Patriot, which was digitized, and that's over 150 years old, and they have all the issues of that available there online.
I know. I always say people should do a library crawl because there's just so many fun, unique things at each one of the libraries. You know, Hyannis down the street here does a lot with, which all the libraries do. English is a second language. They have the new Nourish Food Hub with the Family Table Collaborative, where people can get access to food that may not have it. And all the libraries offer technology services. Catuit Library does different musics and has a lot of different offerings and programs. They do tech appointments, and they have celebrating their 150th anniversary coming up. And Weldon is always doing programs and keeping their constituency active with different fun things and story times. And I think they're doing a tea swap now where people could try different teas and things.
Oh, that's good to know.
And Osterville has, virtual reality, augmented reality, 3D printing, Zoom rooms, lots of different women's groups, Canasta, Mahjong. So they really are, like you said, community centers.
And a lot of the libraries have public spaces that allow for the civic associations and others to, I don't know if it's rent or if it's borrow the space so that they can have meetings. Some of the libraries also welcome elected leaders, Representative Diggs and Representative Exaros, I believe, utilize libraries for some of their meetings.
It's important because that's, people need access to the representatives, and it's great that they do that. I know, Centerville has been hosting a lot of meetings like we have about the information on the wind for people who are for it and against it. I know the other libraries are holding, like you said, the representatives, and we host both of them, and the town councilors. And, we are the place where people can go for trusted information.
That's terrific. And I know that we use the libraries, the communications program of the Town of Barnstable uses the libraries to get information out, because we do know that your community hubs, and a lot of you have newsletters that you provide. So you have an e-newsletter that you're able to get our information out as well, because it involves your residents, your clients.
It's important. Can you all put out a lot of great information? And then when we put it out, because they say it takes several times for it to resonate with a person. So they can learn about your app. They can learn about, if the something's going to be open or closed, or a road or change or things like that. So the more ways that people can get information locally, the better off, the more informed they'll be.
So we say that you guys are so much more than books, but you do have a lot of author talks that take place. All the libraries, I know that I've been to a number of them at Sturgis. I've been to a number of them at your library. They're fun, entertaining, and you can usually get a book signed when you go there. There was recently Steve who did the book about the Gardner Museum heist.
Right.
He had been part of the Boston Globe Spotlight program, and that was a fascinating gathering, and it was standing room only, if I'm not mistaken. And then a number of libraries utilize outdoor space. So, for instance, Weldon Memorial recently participated in the West Barnstable Village Festival Days. The Hyannis Public Library has the Cape Cod Toy Library. They have that space outside as well. And you have your own band.
Yes. We inherited the Cape Cod Conservatory Jazz Band. So we have the 22-piece band that is now ours, and that also rehearses at the library.
It rehearses at the library, but you have a beautiful gazebo out on the lawn. And that's utilized for a lot of activities that you have.
Actually, it's the host of the Kirkman Trust Fund Summer Concert Series that we do. And yes, the gazebo's been amazing. It happened, we got it just right around COVID. And it was perfect for doing all the book groups and story times. And people had meetings out there. We do Tai Chi, yoga. There's all sorts of things going on.
Very good. You mentioned the Kirkman Trust. And the Kirkman Trust Fund is part of the Trust Fund Advisory Committee, is the one that administers it for. It benefits Mosswood Cemetery, the other cemeteries, and then it benefits the Catuit Library and then the other libraries.
Yes, we're very fortunate to have that.
Right, and so those programs that they sponsor it can't be for operating expenses. It has to be for
programs, books.
Yeah, and I believe that there have been a number of programs that you've done over the years that have been collaborative.
Yes.
So, and I think that the Kirkman kind of
wants that.
Pointed the libraries in that direction, that it's really nice when there's an opportunity to have some kind of collaborative activities?
Well, we try to collaborate on things as much as possible. I know with the event that was just held on the town property here, Hyannis and I were giving away things and meeting with people. And
Unity Day.
Unity Day, that's the one, right. And it was a lot of fun. And, we're collaborating at the Senior Center tomorrow. Is that right?
No, next week.
Next week. Oh, good. I have an extra week. So, doing things and preparing information and brochures and things like that. So people have one piece of access for all the things that we offer.
And this will probably air afterwards, but it's the second annual community 55 plus community day, community safety day that will be taking place at the Barnstable Adult Community Center. And we're really grateful for the libraries because Stacy Cullen, who works at the Barnstable Adult Community Center, goes to each library one day a month to provide caregiver information to people who may not be able to get into Hyannis.
That's a great resource, and it's used a lot, and she's just a wonderful person to work with. And she recently did a story time for Alzheimer's families, and that was wonderful.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I want to talk about one of the unique things that you did since you're here, the Human Library. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that program? Because this was the second or third?
Third.
The third annual that you held this past summer. So you want to talk a little bit about the Human Library?
Sure. We started in 2019, and it's a licensed event out of Denmark, and it's based on the premise that people become books, and they're checked out based on personal prejudices or maybe just a person that they've never had an opportunity to talk to before. So some of the books that we have had have been like homeless, recovering alcoholic, recovering drug addict, Jew, Muslim, tattooed from head to toe, African American woman, Asian American, disabled, wheelchair bound. And it's really an amazing opportunity for people to just have a conversation and ask questions. And the books are open, and to find out, their experiences. Because I think we've all had people or thoughts and that until we met somebody, it changed how we felt about that. And I think this is an opportunity for people to learn from each other in a controlled environment and maybe unjudge somebody.
That's great. I think I went the first year, but I was disappointed that I wasn't able to attend again because some of the people that were participating, like Dolores DeLuz.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, just absolutely amazing when you consider her history. And it would have been great to, I've talked to her a lot, but I think that in this context, it would have been a really interesting conversation.
She's just got, somebody needs to do like a brain drain. She's just got so much history in here and done so much for Cape Cod.
Yeah, that's great. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the town, the libraries in the town of Barnstable?
Yes, I think sometimes people say, oh, I love libraries and it's great and all this, but have you been to one lately? You really need to go in, follow the websites, get their newsletter, and there's so many great offerings. There's no reason to be alone if you're single or widowed or that. There's women's groups, men's groups, knitting, canasta, mahjong, socialization. Just come out and explore. I think you'll find a great new world.
That's fabulous. You can open a book. You can open a mind.
Yep.
You can
change
do a lot
life.
of things. Wonderful. Well, we've got another question for you, but it's kind of, well, actually, the question I'm going to ask you follows what we're talking about. What is the most recent book that you've read?
The most recent book I'm reading is one by David Goggins, and it's called Can't Hurt Me. And he's kind of like a motivational speaker. He's you can't say ex-Marine because they're not ex-Marines. He's a Marine, Navy SEAL, Ranger, and he just resonates with me with his positivity and overcoming things and working hard, and I really enjoy it.
That's great. I'll have to check that one out. Thank you so much for coming today. We want to thank our listeners for spending time with us and listening to Discover Barnstable, the official podcast of the Town of Barnstable. We hope you found a new understanding of how your municipal government works for you in our community. Be sure to drop us a line at podcast@town.barnstable.ma.us and let us know what you'd like to learn next. Until next time, go Discover Barnstable.